What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? It is your favorite Adobe Liver, Brandon Groce. I am super excited to be here with you guys today. We have some amazing things to get into today. But before we get into that, first off, I want to say hello to each and every one of you guys in the chat. We have Tim, we have Garrett, we have Dot, Kyle. I'm going to refresh my screen here because it seems as if, all right, we are live. All right, guys, here's what we got for today. First off, I want to just preface this. If you guys hear a lisp, it is because I have retainers in because my teeth were moving like glaciers. So, I hope you guys bear with me today. I'm really excited about what we have for these next 2 days. Today and tomorrow, we are going to be creating a e-wallet application. I'm super excited to be showing you guys some of the new features that have just been brought into Adobe XD that were released at Adobe MAX. So if you guys didn't catch up what is new during Adobe MAX week, this is going to be perfect for you because we're going to get into all of the delicious features. So with that said, Jorge, Jamie, Tim, Noah, I'm glad to have you in the chat. There's so many more of you guys. For those of you who are on YouTube, because I did peek a little bit, come on over to Behance because we are only watching and really conversing with the chat there. So come on over. Tim should be sending over a link for you guys to come hop, jump, and skip and have a party with us here on Behance. All right. Now that we've talked a little bit about my retainers, what we're going to do for the next 2 days. Actually, for those of you guys who are not familiar with me, I like to do things in 2 days. So today we're going to be working on specifically building our application. And then tomorrow we're going to be focusing on prototyping and animating it. But regardless, I'll be showing you guys a little bit of 3D transform both today and tomorrow, so you guys don't have to wait for tomorrow to get some of that candy. All right, so let's talk about what we have for today's Adobe Live schedule. So first off, we have me, 7:30 a.m. PT, getting started with Adobe XD. We have Voodoo Val at 9 a.m. PT doing some Photoshop Daily Creative Challenge. Beautiful. At 9:30 a.m. PT, we have Photo Compositing with Adam Bird. At 11:30 a.m. PT, we have Illustrator Daily Creative Challenge with The Hawkster. At 12 p.m. PT, we have Packaging Design with Aaron. 12 p.m. PT, we have XD Daily Creative Challenge with Andrea. And then we have our last two, Draw Along with Kyle T. Webster. And at 3 p.m. At 3 p.m. PT, we have Rework It with Jesus and Claudia. All right, guys. So that is our housekeeping for today. We still have some people popping in the chat. Someone says, hold on, let's see what the chat is saying. We have vampires aren't really real until they are. Interesting. What's going on, Join? What's happening, Lexon? Or Lennox, one or the other. Regardless, happy to have you here. Now, let's get into what we're doing today, all right? Gonna share my screen here. Wait, Lennox knows exactly the hex tie. He knows exactly where it's from, too. We only do extra things, guys. Why does he gesture like Obama? I have no idea. Maybe I watched too many things. Anyways, so what we're gonna do today, first and foremost, imitation is how we learn. We walk and figure out how to walk, crawl by either just trying to do it or we're trying to attempt to imitate how those around us are walking. So what I'm gonna bring you guys through today is how to do everything that we see here from the sign up page all the way to adding a new account, some funds, adding some friends that you can send money to, as well as the dashboard and cards. Now, again, we might not be able to do all of this today. However, I do have some components already pre-made so we can make this process a little bit faster as we are closing out today's segment in an hour and a half. We're closing today at 12. So, as anytime I'm live streaming, guys, I like to go through a process. I like to break down and show you guys how to create the amazing things that we're starting off with here today so you guys know where we're gonna end up. Now, with that said, anytime you have a question or wondering how something is made, please stop me and we'll go through how exactly something is done. This is for you, this isn't for me. I like to crack jokes, I like to have fun, but this is for you guys. So, we're gonna start off with our artboard. I'm just gonna press A. I'm gonna find our most recent mobile. We have our iPhone X. And I'm just gonna start off with our background gradient. So I'm gonna go ahead and hit my R, my rectangle tool, and I'm just gonna drag a nice, beautiful background just like this. Make sure it is nice and fitting. But I'm glad you guys are liking the tie. This is how we do. All right, now I was having a little bit of trouble with this earlier today because I wanted to show you guys how let's see if this will work for me. And maybe Tim, the mastermind, will know. I was trying to do this all day yesterday, and I could not figure out why it was not working. I had some character styles. Typically, it might just be me. What I can do is, instead of having to constantly write out the same thing over and over and over again, I like to save my styles in the character, in my character assets, so that I can just write something out, click what my character style is, and it will become that style both in color, font, and font size and weight. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna go ahead and just make our gradient back here. So I just kind of wanted to preface that. So I have my white background. I'm gonna go to my right hand panel, click solid color, linear gradient. All right, now what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna sample my colors up here. I'm just gonna scroll up. I'm gonna take this nice light blue, and I'm gonna click my other little, I don't know what it's called, it's not a swatch, but my other little button here, and I'm gonna click the most saturated part of this bluish purple. Hey, what's going on, Sean? Good to have you. We have Julian in the chat. We have everybody. We have a lot of people from my earlier live stream this morning. Welcome, guys. All right, now I get a lot of questions from my students, like how should I make, especially when it's iPhone, do I remake the status bar? What do I do? And I'm like, look, listen, Apple has UI kits on their website that you can just download, and it's for all, they have one for Adobe XD. You just copy, you find the status bar, and you just paste it into your artboard. I'm very much about how can we speed up the curve. And if somebody already made something, go ahead and just leverage that into your design. Plus, you're gonna need to use their specific status bar in their design. They have rules around that. You can't just make the status bar look however which way you want. All right, next we're gonna go ahead and make our logo. It's pretty simple. We're just gonna draw out a circle here. Linux says, eyedropper, looking good. We always be eyedropping, my friend. Jamie says, Apple UI kits are the best. Indeed they are. Any UI kit is a lifesaver. So I'm just gonna type in, and by the way, I love this plugin. It's called Icons for Design, and I don't have to leave Adobe XD at all. I literally can type in, let's type in money. Boom, we have all different type, we have dollar bills, we have actual money icons. I'm just gonna grab this and I'm gonna drag it in here. I'm gonna scale it up a little bit. And by the way, our app is called Dollars. All right. So let's see. Now we're gonna go ahead and we're actually gonna save these colors in our swatches here, so we don't have to constantly repick them. So I'm gonna click my light blue saturated. We're just gonna add that to my palette. Same thing with this bluish purple, because I'm gonna do the same thing with our icon here. And why using icons for design versus taking a PNG and all that stuff is because you don't have to go to Photoshop to change the colors and all that stuff. I can just come in here, linear gradient, blue, purple, and I can actually, I think we'll keep it like that. It's a nice reverse. Let's see what it looks like differently. Let's see, let's bring this down here. Let's see what we got. Actually, I think I like this better. I think this is what I had originally. So we'll go with that. Now we're gonna add a little tiny bits of a shadow, okay? We're gonna just click my shadow bit right here. We're gonna make it really blur. I feel like a lot of designers make the shadow like real dark and they're like, yo, look at that, look at it. It's amazing. And not a lot of designers, I mean when we're first starting out. But to up our taste level, we're gonna take the shadow opacity just a little bit. We only want to separate it a little bit from the background. And we're gonna just drop the shadow down. There's this X and Y value here. This moves our shadow up and down. This moves our shadow left and right. We got it dancing, you guys know what I mean? We got people in the chat talking about dark mode. I love it. All right, so what we're gonna do here, we're gonna continue to scale this up. We got about like 40, 39 in blur, and we're just gonna drop the shadow down a little bit. Just like that. We're gonna bring in our text box. We're gonna type in dollars. Also gonna make this white. Add that to my palette so I don't have to keep moving that little picker. All right, what else we need? We need some separators. And money isn't everything, but everything needs money. Ooh, dark mode, you say. Vote here. Wait, hold on. Tim, you know what we need a vote for? Is this. When I have a font, I want to see what the font looks like. We need that, guys. And Tim, I'm really curious to know if that can be done. Because I always am like, I don't remember what font this is. I'm not sure if everybody else is like that. But that would be a lifesaver. All right, I just made a line here. I pressed L, quick shortcut, drew a line out, made it white, and now we are decreasing our opacity. And just really quick, guys, I'm going to draw out a huge important thing for me anytime I'm designing something is I like to always take inspiration from a lot of different applications. And one thing I do is, even if you guys are familiar from your art school or art class, there's things called studies, and like figuring out how other artists did their work. You kind of like figure out what angles they did things, their spacing and stuff like that. So basically what I'm trying to figure out here is, and obviously I already know where my lines are, but I just wanted to show you guys this because I think it's a pretty good skill. Anytime you have a design, I like to, or something, especially when you're learning, I like to kind of figure out what is the spacing, or how are these individuals laying out their content. So far, and how you drag these are basically, if you just hover on the side of the artboard, you get these nice lines. My retainer was like, nice. You get these nice lines that you can just simply drag anywhere on your artboard, both top and bottom, so you can measure things where exactly they are. I just thought that would be a nice tint. Tim said 1,000 people agree with you. Yes, let's definitely, everybody go vote for that, please. And also, things like this. If I hold the Alt button and I select an icon, or I select an element and I just hold Alt, we get these nice little measurers, these purple little rulers that tell me where exactly, or how much padding there is between the element and things around it. So I can, I'm pointing it to the background here. I can point it to this, this element. It says there's 19 pixels in difference. And things like this, I think this is 54, yes. So those are things that are really important that a lot of people, when I teach, or with my students, they're like, oh, I didn't know you could do that. And it saves lives. All right, next I'm going to see if this will work for us. Because I'm gonna try this again. I'm gonna go back to our library. I'm gonna delete all our character styles. I'm gonna see if this works for us again. So I'm gonna select our little type here. I'm gonna right click it, and I'm going to add character style to assets. Now what this should allow us to do is, if I type anything out and I click this, apply character style, it's not working today. Yeah, we have to, I'm not sure if that's a bug, Tim, but I've actually had that problem. We'll talk after, how to fix that. But especially this would help us, if I remember what fonts I was using. So Montserrat. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna just type out, I'm gonna type it up here so I can see what it is. Money isn't everything, but everything needs Monet. All right, so we're gonna take this down here. We're going to, instead of black, we're gonna bring it back to regular. And I believe it was $27.99. 99, boom. And we're just going to center it just like this. Easy day. Jamie says, I didn't know that. That alt trick is amazing. See, it's just a little thing. It's just a little thing, but it saves it saves lives. I'm also gonna increase this this divider here to get that full width of our text here. I'm gonna make a small divider. Let me just hit R, get a little rectangle here. And I'm gonna do the same thing that I did up top, okay? We have our, I'm gonna make this 25 opacity. We're gonna do the same thing that we did here. We're gonna get a little bit of our block here. I'm gonna make it a little bit smaller. We're gonna make our separator a little bit more thick. We're gonna turn the opacity down to around, around 30. And then we can continue the rest of our bit here. Now, I just want to show you guys, because I did already create some of these components just to speed up some time. And this is a great time to introduce you guys to our document assets. So I have a whole bunch of components that I've saved out, from navigation bar, status bars, logos. So for example, let's say I didn't want to, I actually like this a lot better. The second time around was not that great. You know, I'm gonna actually scale this up. Or we can just separate it. We're gonna steal our logo from before. But what I'm showing you guys here is you can actually, let's say you're working in a team, and let's say Tim or Sally on your team, you know, created something and they saved that file, shared it with you, and you could open up that library or that file, or that document anywhere or for any project that you're working on. So Tim or Sally saved this entire components library for you so that you don't have to constantly keep recreating switches, recreating, you know, birthday inputs or date inputs. We'll go over how to make this stuff from scratch, but you know, Adobe XD is absolutely excellent when it comes to making something once, saving it as a component, and sharing that list of components with somebody else to use for their projects as well. So the scalability within XD is absolutely excellent. So we're just gonna take our sign in button. We just pulled it from our components box here. But very simply, if we wanted to make this, we would just draw out a rectangle. I'll get the size from this. I'm gonna hold Control, click. We have 319 or 315. Just grab that. I'm gonna grab the height of that. We have 48. 1, 2, boom. Turn off the border, and very simply, to just get those rounded corners, I'm just going to pull the levers of this little feature right here. Now what's really cool about this, I'm going to show you guys on top of the blue. If I wanted to do something really interesting. So this feature here allows me to control all 4 corners at once. This feature, however, allows me to do individual corners. So I can do one corner straight and the rest curved, or I can come over here and do some really interesting things, just like that. All right, so now that we have our sign in button, we need to get our social media here. Excuse me, my coffee is not resonating with me this morning. Okay. We're gonna grab we have a couple icons here, but I'm gonna also show you how to make them too. So we have our OR separator. And again, this is very simple to make. Just type 1, 2, boom. Make it bold. And using our handy dandy, you can scale your font here to the right in the sidebar, or, which is even more easier, we have this little nub down here where we can literally just drag the font to the size that we want. And guys, while I'm doing this, is there anything, because I want to know, we can obviously sit here, watch me design this thing, but I want to know, is there anything in Adobe XD that you've had trouble with? Some questions regarding what has been hard for you in Adobe XD, because these are questions that I would love to answer today while we're just also designing this. Like I said, we're here for you, or this time is for you. I'm gonna drag 3 more of our components out, like so. The power of components, guys, makes things super simple. Now, what I will do is I'm going to make sure everything that I've pulled out onto my artboard is centered. I have grouped my icons here, and very simply, again, this is made by making a delicious and beautiful rectangle. Turning off the border, rounding those edges, and very simply using our amazing plugin Icons for Design, and just typing in Twitter. We have our icon right here. I'm gonna slap that in the center of our little shape here, and all we're gonna do is we're gonna decrease this size of this element here, and we're just gonna change the color of that. So very easy to make this sort of these sort of elements. And why I like to do, a lot of you guys are probably like, why do I keep using opacity on these elements? Especially when you're using gradients. It's really nice to see, and rather than picking the colors, it's much nicer to have the elements actually blend with the gradient rather than constantly having to pick different colors. Pick one gradient and then just use elements that have opacity. And by the way, guys, if you are digging what we are doing so far, please do not forget to hit that thumbs up button, whether you're on YouTube or Behance. And if you're on Behance chatting away, do not forget to come on over to Behance so we can see and chat with you guys. I'm going to make one more separator. I'm just going to drag this out. I'm going to turn the border to white, and I'm going to make sure that our color is, or our opacity is the same. So I increase the border size to 2 here. This is how you increase your lines. And we're just going to bring this down to 25. A quicker way of doing this is if it's at 100%, all I have to do is select my element, hit 25 on my keyboard. I hit 2.5, and we already have that opacity, which is awesome. We have a couple questions in the chat. We have Calypso. When trying to do multiple component possibility, I would like to have the possibility to duplicate a component into another without creating an instance. I think it's not possible. That is a good question. I think how that would work, let's say we have our sign in, right? So it is a component. What I would need to do is duplicate this, ungroup it, make another component, and then I can put this, and then I can use this component and put it into something else. Let's say I want it on, I want it on this back, for whatever reason, I want this to be a component as well. So now I have this original component, well, the original component isn't on here, it's up here. The inner component has been converted from a main to an instance. That is interesting. Okay. And this might not be the right answer. I'm sure Tim has, and he also asked a very intelligent question. This is typically how I do it. If I have this as an original component, if I need it in something else, I basically just uncomponented it, made it another component name, and brought it into something else. Calypso is asking, but when you want to group, you lose the states. And again, I think your question is good. What I would say is you want to, I'm not even sure if this is the correct way. I would make another component with the same states, not called the same thing, and then bring it into another version. Let's see if we can do that really quick. So let's do this. I know we're going a little bit off topic, guys, but let's do this because I am curious, and that is a good question. So we have this. Okay, I duplicate it, it becomes an instance. But let's say I want to take this and let's put it into a square. Let's just put it into a red square. If I decide to, and I might be wrong, let's see. Oh no, this is now a new component, but let's see what happens here. And I know, Tim, I'm going really off topic, all right. So we have those two things. I'm not entirely sure if I'm answering your question, my friend, but here's the thing. I stream it every Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. If you guys want to come join and ask these type of questions when we're not. Because that is a very good question. If we have a little bit of time today, I would really like to dive into that. But I think that's a valid question. Tim, what do you think? Tim is asking, would this transparency be an issue when exporting the assets for the dev team? From experience, I've never had a problem doing that. maybe the developers were just upset. Tim, nesting components is possible. And I know I've done it, but I think their question is a little bit more, like I think they want the same components, like they want the same states, in that making a new component that has the same states, but they still want the ability to change the first component without messing up the second one, which is a little bit more complex. Because you basically have to duplicate the same two components twice that have the same states and then do different things associated. All right. Okay, back to where we are. Doing a time check. We have, all right, good. We have an hour still. All right, now we're on to our second page here. I just went ahead and duplicated our page here. I held Alt and Shift and just dragged this over. And I'm gonna delete some of these things for right now. Some things we can keep. We're gonna keep this portion. And we're just gonna move it on up. We have, hey, what's going on, Tom? Yeah, Calypso, see, I understand what you're saying. You would have to take one component, duplicate it, both have the same states, and then you would have to manipulate them independently. It does take a little bit more time. Yeah, it's a little bit different question than nesting. But you would have to go about it that way because you're not necessarily nesting. All right, let's see. So I'm gonna I have some of these things saved. That's a good question, Calypso. We're gonna go back to my libraries right here. We're gonna go ahead and grab my logo just so I don't have to, I'm gonna delete these components really quick. Delete, we don't want those in our, we're gonna just drag our cross here, our X out, and our mini logo. Again, this stuff is super simple to make. Circle, and we grab our icon from icons for design. All right, now I'm just gonna do some measuring up here. I'm gonna come bring some of our things here. We have, boom, or just very simply, I'm just gonna hold Alt. So we have 30 on the side, we're gonna move it to 30, and then we have 38 from the top. So I'm gonna move this up. I'm gonna go hold Shift and then press the up arrow 3 times. There we go. And I'm gonna do the same thing over here. We're gonna make sure that there's 30 to the left and move it over 4 times. Perfect. And I'm gonna scoot this baby to the center and up a little bit. And I'm gonna do like 30 pixels, just like that. We do need to change. There is some shadow behind here too, guys. We take a look at that. We have about 10% shadow. We have the Y is 7 pixels down and 13 blur. Hey, what's going on, Julia? How you doing? How's your day so far? And we're also gonna grab our quote here. We have, let's see, we have our Montserrat 12. This is also why I would, let's see, quote of the day. I'm gonna pull that in here. Let's get our sizing really quick. We have 12. I'm gonna drop that. Oops, I accidentally hit the opacity. And we're gonna increase the spacing of the letters by around 255. There we go. But if you guys have any more of those questions, please drop them, because that was a really good question from Calypso and Tim. Let me ask Tim, because he might know. And that's what he's here for. He's like my intellectual counterpart. Is there any challenges, or have you had any challenges with exporting designs with opacity? I don't think I've had any issues. My answer is I have never had any issues with opacity. However, the real answer might just be the color that you want to have opaque rather than the actual element. Hey, what's going on, Ev? How you doing? Welcome to the chat. Julia says everything is good. I am glad. I am glad, my friend. All right. We're gonna go ahead and make some of our input boxes. We're gonna steal some of the sizing here. We're gonna do 48 height and 1350, or 315 and 48 for the height. And we're just going to take this, bring that all the way up, turn the border on. I'm gonna go ahead and make that white. We're gonna actually, just for this, we're gonna turn the opacity down for the border, and we're gonna also turn the opacity down for our input. We're gonna do about like 30. Those T's are really hard to to say today with my retainers, guys. And we're gonna also, we're gonna increase the size of this border by just 1, just like that. Also going to turn up the opacity just a little bit. Boom. Look at that. Such amazingness. All right, we're going to center that and make sure everything else is centered on our screen. I'm going to group this, make sure this is centered. And something looks a little funky here. Let's pull this down. There we go. Julian, I would love to export GIFs on my video prototypes. Actually, my solutions are pretty your solutions are fine. Julian, to answer that question, there are actually quite a few there are quite a few ways that you can, in Adobe XD, there actually is a way to record your prototypes. If you press this play button, and if you're on Mac, you have this button where you can actually record. If you're on Windows, you can actually hit Windows G and it will record what it is that you're doing in your prototype. You'll have a mouse there, but that's really the only difference. And what I've done is I just record that interaction and I just bring it to something like Giphy or a MOV to GIF sort of, Yeah, Tim says, I guess you wouldn't export buttons as images anyway, so it wouldn't have a huge issue. Only problem is you really don't specify the actual color of the gradient or the shape. Only problem is you really don't specify the actual color or the gradient of the shape. Well, that's the thing. I mean, as a dev, I mean, I don't think you need to specify the color of the button because it's white. It doesn't need that. All you would need is, and we can show you guys this later. Really, all the developer needs is the gradient color, and then anything on top of it. Like if you just told them, hey, build a square, and then make that square opaque, like they don't need to know like what is the color change between when the square is here versus when the square is here. To answer that question. I just deleted something, didn't I? Okay. All right. Let's back at it, ladies and gentlemen. Dot says, I'm on Mac, and that record button never works. Really? That was like my Lord and Savior on the Mac. We're going to go ahead and put username. And we're going to change this in just a second. Yeah, I don't know. Tim, what do you, I know I keep asking you these questions. I've never had I would definitely, yeah, I would grab support on that one. All right, let's double check what's here. We have 15 pixels and we have 75. 15. And we're gonna have spacing, I believe that's kerning. About 75. And we're just gonna do, let's see. We're gonna grab this. Okay, we're just gonna type again. Username. And we just drop that in the center. And we're gonna pull this down and we're just gonna type in password. Wow, Julian, you used to have that problem too? That's really interesting. I've only really, you know, I've just had to be creative with how I do it on PC. But what exactly happens? Ooh, thank you, Tim. See, Tim is always coming in with the awesomeness. All right, I'm tired of keep coming in from the left. So I'm gonna left align all my text really quick. I'm gonna select my text, and instead of a center align, which is why it keeps starting from the center every time I'm typing, I'm gonna hit left align. We have username, and I think I'm gonna bold it too. All right, we have our keep me logged in. I'm gonna do this. I'm just gonna copy. I'm gonna grab this, hold Alt, drag this down. And I'm just gonna make a nice little nice little circle here. I'm gonna make my switch. Hey, what's going on, Nim? Hello there, just got home. I'm so happy that you're streaming. We are happy that you are here too, Nim. We have a lot of you guys from the chat from our Game Changer squad. So I'm glad that you guys can make it. I'm gonna drop this down just to make our switch. We're gonna do about 20, we'll do 25. Now we'll do 30, we'll do 30. And we're just gonna squeeze this in a little bit. And we're gonna pull this right about here. Turn your password on and off. Okay, what is the keep me logged in? Jamie says, whoop whoop, game changers. Yes, guys, indeed. All right, let's see. We're gonna go ahead and I can't wait to have tea after this. my throat is like, Brandon, what are you doing? Me. Oh, I gotta turn this off. So, one thing that is sometimes very helpful is these settings down here, especially with text. I'm gonna type in keep me logged in, let's say, for example, I wanted to have every word be capitalized. I could just come here, click this, and Adobe XD knows which letter is the start of a new word and capitalizes that for me. So I can do all uppercase, all lowercase, or I'm not sure if this is sentence. This is not sentence case. I think this is like word case, which is not a word in grammatical, but but we're just gonna keep it like this. Let's see. Yuling says clean design. Thank you very much. It is, you know, we got this heat over here. We have this heat. Alright. Let's see. So we have that. We have our other things that we've copied from our previous page. All these things that we have here are pretty simple. Now, what I want to, just so I can give you guys a little candy, because I really wanted to do this. I want to showcase to you guys a little bit of Element 3D, or not Element 3, excuse me. We're going to showcase to you guys the 3D transform here. We can actually make things 3D now. We can flip them in X and Y space, or we can even push them in Z space, which is awesome. We'll get to how we can utilize this in just a moment, but I just want to show you guys that feature, because if you guys haven't updated yet, you need to update. I've done a couple of things on my live stream. If you guys aren't watching, just go to the right hand side of Adobe, of the Adobe Live, and just check out the channel. Not now, stay with us. But I do show you guys every 9 a.m. EST, all the cool stuff that you can do in Adobe XD. But we're gonna do that here today, so no need to leave. All right, so I'm duplicating my artboard. I am stealing some more of, I'm just gonna copy and paste our copy here, because we know I'm like spelling challenged. And we're just gonna go ahead and turn on, if you guys ever see this, this is basically the new feature. I'm just gonna turn that off really quick. And we'll discuss more of the new feature tomorrow. We're gonna get really into the nitty gritty and have some fun with that. And if we have some extra time today, we'll also do that. For right now, I am going to find our fixed size so I can pull this in just a little bit. I'm gonna center this. Make sure this is centered, because that doesn't even look centered. Julia XD does have some serious new features. Jamie says, oh, I thought, let's see, capitalizing the word of a new line every single sentence, even if I wanted to be lowercase. Tim says, by the way, if you like to organize your document assets by color, just add some emojis. There are some clean colored ones which could be useful. Oh, so like this. Or at least I think this is what Tim is talking about. I have no idea. I am assuming. I actually learned something pretty cool today, or in the last couple weeks, how to do emojis on your computer. I have a desktop, so results may vary, or a PC. You hit Control and period, and you get a whole bunch of emojis, but I'm not sure if this is what Tim was talking about. Yeah, I'm not sure. Russian XD says, oh, when there's devs make a function to delete a text save zones for pixel perfect designs. Nimrod loves the music. Very nice. All right, back to it. Julie says, love the colors. Why, thank you. Well, we try. All right, so we're gonna go ahead. We're gonna have a few more things to add, but we're gonna just use our same components here. First off, we're gonna fix this. Fill your personal stuff. We're gonna do sign up here. And guys, if I ever get off track, because you know I do, please just like slap me in the chat real quick. Be like, Brandon, can we get back to the seriousness, please? But I always like having conversations with you guys and seeing what's up, what you guys are working on, and how I can help. All right, some of these things I'm gonna go ahead and group and just move up here. I kind of want to keep the same distance. between some of these elements here. So we have about 40 pixels of space between the separator and this content. We have our birthday. This is super easy to make, so I'll show you guys how to do that. Actually, we might just skip this because this is the new account. We might just skip this because let's get into the fun stuff. We'll come back to that. Let's get into this portion. Let's get that this is the new account. Ugh, fine, we'll do it. We will do it. Let's see. Email address. We're gonna come in here and not capitalize everything. Email ad. How do you spell? All right. Now, one thing I do want to show you guys, because I also know a couple people struggle with this, myself included, is for the longest time I was trying to figure out how to, when I group things, let's say if I group this entire selection here, just Control G. A lot of people were like, well, I want to just select dollars. How do I do that? Like, and some people will click forever and, you know, be able to finally get it. But all you have to do is hit Control or Command, and all of the things that you hover over, you can select individually, which is a nice little tip for you guys. Tim says, here at Adobe Live, we never venture into other topic conversations. Oh, look, a squirrel. That is definitely, that is today. All right, so I'm gonna turn off, I don't think we need these, yeah. We're gonna go ahead and take off our little things here. I'm gonna take this, I'm gonna align this, get our little board here, boom. I'm gonna try to line this up exactly, all right, well, we're gonna try to line it up exactly with the word. We're gonna get this right here, and we're just gonna type in birthday. It's your birthday. All right, now we're just gonna make I really don't wanna make this right now because I really just wanna get to the card because the card is cool. And we're pretty good on time, right? We have about like 40 minutes, 45. All right, let's go ahead and, all right, fine, I'll make it. All right, we're just gonna drag. Boom, boom, bada bing. I'm gonna pull this down. And guys, let me know, do you want me to do like nitty gritty stuff, or which do you prefer? Put one in the chat if you guys just want to get as closely as possible to seeing some of the cool stuff in 3D Transform, or do you guys want to see how all these different elements are made? I know we have different types of people experience-wise in the chat, but I just want to make sure I'm fair to everybody. So just let me know. Put one in the chat if you want to speed past and get to the cool 3D stuff, or 2 in the chat if you want to just let's go and see how all these things are built. All right, so let me just take this. I'm gonna duplicate it so I don't have to keep going up and down. All right, very simply, we hit our text, we go double D's. We go to normal or regular. Actually, let me just see. Tim says 3D transform, please. All right, we got some ones. All right, so we have 3 3D transforms. Julian says 2 smile, unhappy face. So far, we have 1/2. I'm gonna let it sit for a little bit more. All right, Megan. Hey, Megan, what's going on? We have 2 2s, 3 1s. Guys, we have over 100 people in our live stream today. We need to vote. All right, I'm gonna let it sit for about like 30 more seconds. Because if it's a tie, we're just gonna do both. We were gonna do that anyway. I'm gonna come in here. I'm gonna save these colors. 1 + 2 = 3D. See, Tim knew what I was doing. He knew what my plan was all the time. He was like, Brandon's just trying to teach math. Exactly. Alright, 75. Umacorn says 2. Alright, it's a tie, guys. We're just gonna have to do both. Beth, hold on. Okay, now we're just gonna get these arrows. Very simply, we're gonna go to our plugins. Tim says quick math, nothing short. We're gonna just type in arrow. Julian says, how do you imagine the birthday widget working? Pretty simply, man. They're pretty much just drop downs. Well, not drop downs necessarily. Since this is we're working with iPhone, if said customer comes and clicks this, obviously you'll get that nice rotating, what's it called? I don't remember the name, but if you guys have iPhone, you know when you click specific, like a date picker, you get that nice little Rolodex looking thingy-majig. I'm not sure if it has a name. But if we do have time today, guys, I have done some 3D stuff that I would love to show you guys. And just to show you guys the capabilities of 3D Transform today. Hey, what's going on, Kyle? And just so you guys don't have to wait till tomorrow, because I know we do have a very diverse crowd today. Let me group this. Derek says 1 and 2. All right, it seems like we have a tie, guys. It seems like we have a tie. All right, I'm gonna go ahead. We have MM. But Julian, I'm not sure if I answered your question. Is that an answer that you're happy with, or what else? I'm gonna duplicate this, and I'm just gonna do Y. North says you're the master, do whatever you want. But guys, we're friends. This is what we do. All right, I'm gonna just take all of these really quick. I'm going to use my handy dandy notebook. I'm gonna use my handy dandy auto distribution. I don't know what this is called, Tim. We need the manual. But this is our whatever I'm gonna call it is. And I'm just gonna drag this to the center. And I'm also going to use our little things here. I'm actually gonna measure this too. So we have 34 from the left. Oops. 25 from the right. We're just gonna enter in our little things here. Lennox came in the chat and was like, look, listen, I have the answers. And he came in really quickly with what exactly that iOS rotation thing is. My friend, you are the one. You are the master. I appreciate you sharing that, because I was like, I don't even know what it's called. It is called a picker of some kind, according to iOS's, how do you call? And this is, what is it, 10%? We gotta bring these down to 10%. Ta-da. All right, there we go. All right, now I'm just gonna select all these things. I'm gonna group them. So now I have one nice solid thing, and I'm just gonna center it within this, our nice little birthday thing right here. And now we're just gonna make a shadow. Again, we have 1530. I'm gonna check our little shadow thing here. Grab a previous color that we added to our swatches. We're gonna just type in 15 and then 30. Look at that, how delicious. How suave. All right, it doesn't look the same, so we need to go in and check what's happening here. So it's 15 opacity, and it is 100% dark. I'm gonna go to 15, very nicely, and ta-da! We have the birthday. And we're just gonna bring this here. And we're bringing it a little bit closer. Okay, I'm gonna group this entire element and just pull this up just a little bit. That's about it. And now I'm just going to, these other things we don't really need to like super focus on. Y'all know how to write words. I agree on terms and conditions. Instead of sign in, we're going to put sign up. Ta-da. And these are pretty simple to make. I'm also going to just take from our components library our steps, just like this. And I'm going to delete all these things. 1, 2, 3. And I believe I'm missing something. I am missing our handy dandy little iPhone thing. Don't remember what it's called, but it's the swipe up tab. Also, guys, I'm not sure if you guys feel, what is the word? Discouraged or encouraged. Oh, I'm forgetting the password. All right, we need the password. I knew the things looked off. But in UI UX, there's a million words to mean one thing, or at least in my experience. Everybody, any place that you work will have a word that is supposed to mean something that your last job or whatever you heard last. Oh, okay. It's just different words, just like in real life, that mean the same thing. So like, why I started talking about this was this little Apple tab. It's Apple's swipe up thing. Some people who you work with will actually know the real name, and just because you don't know the real name doesn't mean you're inferior. I remember being laughed at my last job for not knowing what progressive disclosure was, and then they told me what it was, and I was just like, so you mean you're just giving people information when they need it? Because that's the definition. I was like, why don't we say that? Why do we have like a 3 syllable word or phrase to explain that we're just giving people information where we need it? Progressive disclosure. Sounds like a Expelliarmus. Like, that's why I got upset. It was too much of a complicated word to mean something so simple. So if you guys ever feel like that, know that Brandon Groce feels the exact same way, and you're fine. All right, so we have birthday, we have password, and agreed to terms and conditions. I'm gonna separate some things here really quick. I need some breathing space. Hey, what's going on, Lindsay? How you doing? Hey, Saluna, what's going on? Saluna just comes in 3. All right, now I will show you guys something very simple. With this, I'm gonna just put it on top of a background here. And we might do this tomorrow too. I don't wanna spend too much time doing a little time check. We have about 25 minutes here. But I will show you guys how to take a component and have different states within it. Because we do want to have a state where we have 1 selected, 2 selected, and 3 selected. But we'll leave that for tomorrow, because that will take a little bit more time. I just want to build everything out. Just want to make sure we have everything. 1, 2, 3. Excuse me. I'm going to go ahead. All right, let's talk about this now. I'm going to duplicate our artboard here, holding Alt and dragging. Hey, what's going on, Cody? That was, I can never, I feel so bad. I feel like I just mispronounced like the queen's name. I think it's Cotta Bear or Cody Bear. I watch your streams all the time, and I know it's hard. I'm literally having a video editor, my video editor, edit me messing up everybody's name in my chats. It's so bad. So I apologize. Happy to have you in the chat though. Oh yes, the font is Montserrat. Thank you guys for checking in on that. All right, I'm gonna just copy and paste these things here because they're just words. We don't necessarily need them right now. I'm actually going to, because I like how I have them set up over here, so I'm gonna just copy and paste from this over here and just copy these words. Link account, boom, import your funds. Cody, there we go. Cody hit me with the LOL. I swear, I try. All right, so let's build out some of this stuff. I'm gonna just take these components here. I'm gonna duplicate them here so I can show you guys how to reconstruct this. Very simply, I'm just gonna drag out a nice square here. I'm gonna make sure that there's 30 pixels on either side. We have to do, I'm gonna do -5 over here. By the way, someone told me that you can do math in Adobe XD. Like you literally can be like, huh, well, instead of trying to like drag things like 5 pixels less, I literally can do like plus or minus whatever the pixels I need. Well, I'm glad, I appreciate your patience, Cody Bear. Let's see, did I miss any other questions? Nim asked what font, Montserrat. Each time I see your name, I think of Mishka. What is that? Me and Cody are in an absence or of an unknowingness of what said things are. Oh yeah, Jamie, you taught me that. You taught me that in a previous stream. All right, so what I'm gonna do very quickly is I'm gonna drag a couple of icons on here. First off, I'm gonna take off our border and I'm gonna steal some of these colores. And I need to I'm gonna duplicate this, copy, paste. I'm gonna change colors here. I'm gonna move quickly on this one. So what I did is I just copied and pasted our shape, our darker shape here, copy pasted it, minimized it, and changed the color. So now what I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna switch from same radius on all corners to independent corners. And all I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna change our bottom corners here. I'm gonna turn that down and I'm gonna turn that to 0. So now we have this flat sort of look. These are still curved, but the bottom is flat. You dig? And now for this little indent that we have right here, so we are gonna make another square, turn off that border, make it dark. I'm gonna bring this here, center it, flip it and reverse it. We're gonna rotate it. And now we're gonna increase that radius, just like this. And we're just gonna bring it down like so. Ta-da! Guys, if you guys are feeling good, you like the music, you dig it, you like my tie, please hit that like button. It helps tremendously and shows that you want more Brandon Groce on the Adobe Live channel. Thank you very much. All right, jokes aside, we're gonna bring some more of our icons here that we've made previously. We're gonna set these up and center these things. I'm gonna select all of them and use our little, I don't know what it's called, guys, but it centers or equates our things equally. I don't know, I just feel like I did martial arts there. But it spreads things out equally. We do have some separators we need to make. Very simply, we're just gonna go ahead, draw little lines. We're gonna beef it up to about 2 pixels in width. Kyle is saying this is the way, the only way. And I concur. I believe this too is the way. All right, so what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna make sure that this is centered just a little bit. We're gonna do something in an instance. I'm gonna pull this over by holding Alt. I know they're not centered, just bear with me. Edie says, the tie is eye-catching. It's the only reason I wear it. It actually hurts my neck tremendously, but it is it is okay. Beauty is meant to hurt. Derek says that tie is dope. I was thinking, I'm not gonna lie. I was really thinking about getting a bow tie. But that is not the way. I was like, should we go extra? We should go extra. Oh, Nitin, what's going on, dude? I didn't see you in the chat. What's up? You snuck up on me. All right, so now to make our check, we are just going to very simply turn off our border. Now, you were not ignored, sir. You were just so stealthy, so quiet, so sophisticated that I did not see you. George says facts. Indeed, big facts. All right, so we have now our little beautifully graphicatized, what's it called? We have a circle with a gradient, guys. And I'm just gonna, I want a little bit more blur factor in here, so I'm gonna just pull this down a little bit. And now to get the check, again, super easy as always. We do not need to go outside of Adobe XD. We simply go find a check. That check is ugly. Who did that? All right, we're gonna grab this one. All right, we're gonna find our little circle. Boom, downscale. Okay. We're gonna downscale. It kind of looks, it's thick, but all we're gonna do is we're gonna down our stroke size. We're gonna do like 2. 2 is like a happy day. 2 is fine. Cody Bear says, love the gradient we are using. It was inspired by me waking up this morning. Something along those lines. But I'm glad you guys are digging it. I wonder if I could do 1.5 or something. Ooh, beautiful. All right, so all we're gonna do is we're gonna take this, bring this nice little check. Hey, what's going on, Gabrielle? All right. Yes, the check mark was, it indeed has been Halloween, and I've had too much candy. All right, so what we're gonna do, if you guys could see, there's like a little border cutting around, you know, our circle here. All I have to do here is I've selected our circle, I've turned on our border, and all I'm gonna do is sample our background color here, and I'm gonna turn the size up to 2 and just make sure that if you guys saw that, the border went inward. We don't want that to happen. It kind of choked our check. He needs to breathe. He's had a lot of candy. So we're gonna make it go on the outside, just like that. And if you guys missed that, all we did was we hit, so here are the things. This is say, hey, stroke go on the inside, stroke go on the outside, or stroke go both ways. We want the outside. Perfect. All right, guys. Guys, can we get a +1 or a thumbs up for that check mark? It is the same color almost as our plus button or our upvote button. I'm doing a time check here. Why is that clock so hard to see? 11:39 a.m. EST. All right, so we have some good time left. All right, let's talk about this card, because this card, a lot of you guys are probably like, how, where, in what language? All right, so I'm just gonna undo this. I'm going to ungroup it. I'm gonna show you guys all of this was done in Adobe XD. It's just a whole bunch of shapes. All right, so let's break this down. Nitin says balloon brain. Somewhat. All right, so let's break this down. There's a couple shapes here. So what happens is that there's a back plate, right? We have a nice rectangle here, and we have a whole bunch of just penned, drawn shapes, just randomly. So I'll do it again for you guys, just like a real quick one. So I have my pen tool. Just make it white, turn off the border. And we're gonna turn the opacity down. So we're gonna do about like, I'm gonna duplicate this a couple times, rotate it. Oops. Boom. And I'll do one more back here. And all I do is, now I have let's just delete that. I've copied, pasted that shape on top, and I've taken my drawn shapes. Let's actually group my drawn shapes. And with this will be our mask. So I'm going to say, hey, this group of drawn shapes, go inside my purple. And there we go. So now I have my masked shapes on top of my base shape. And now I can just type on my credit card information. Not my real ones, but I can do this. So that's basically how we built this credit card. And just for the sake of time, I'm just gonna go ahead and take it, pow. There we go, here's our card. I'm gonna do the same exact thing with our button here. Again, sake of time, guys, because we have about 15-ish minutes. And I'm trying to get as much as possible done, guys. We have Nitin in the chat asking how to manage overflow, and I am not entirely sure because are we talking about a sync or what exactly? Oh, you mean overflow, like the overflow, like how we did here? Like the overflow of this, right? I think that was your question. So if I take this and I ungroup this, so this is the overflow, the images, right? And so what we do is we're saying, hey, here's our overflow, but we only want to see we only want to see the drawings that is within inside this shape. So I take my individual things here, right? I grouped them. So now it's just this. This is our overflow. And now I have my mask. And I say, hey, with these illustrations in this, I select both. So now both are selected. I right click and I go ahead and do mask with shape. And now I have the overflow cut into the very specific shape that I wanted. And I can now use this wherever. Sean. I don't know. I was like, what overflow are we talking about? All right. Let's move on to the next bit. I hope that, let me know if that helped, Nitin. All right, we're gonna move on to our next piece here. Do another time. All right, cool. My mouth is dry, guys. My retainers are no joke today. All right. Next, I'm just, again, for time's sake, because we all know Brandon's spelling ability is Z grade, and we'll be here the entire day. For me, sweet, Rick and Nitin, I'm glad it helped. Okay. Let us make this. So I'm gonna actually delete everything here except our beautiful background. Julie says, very sleek design. I love it, as sleek as my retainers. I'm glad you guys are enjoying this, in addition to my comedicness. All right, I'm gonna bring this down here as well, just so I don't have to keep scrolling up and down. Sean, there is spell check in Adobe XD, which is why it's 100% my my favorite application. But not just that. There's a lot of things as to why it's my favorite. But that is a huge huge benefit. All right, guys. Oh, one thing I did want to show you guys before we let off is this 3D transform. Okay, I'm just going to show you a quick example, because this is going to be basically the candy before tomorrow, because we're basically all tomorrow we're going to focus on whether we finish this or not. We're going to be prototyping all of this tomorrow. Evie says, when will the second part be? The second part will be tomorrow, same time, 10:30 a.m. EST. I think on PST time, I don't remember what the schedule was. Let me just switch back to there real quick. It will be at 7:30 a.m. PT. So show up. Who did that? My producer just for some reason just blew up the screen. Let me turn that off. Yeah, same time. Let me show you guys this though. So if we turn 3D on, we turn this a little bit and we turn down the opacity. And here we have things rotate. Okay, we can go to prototype. No, yeah, we go to prototype and we have a timer. We're gonna say, hey, after a certain amount of seconds, we're gonna go to our trigger time. Let's put a second delay on it so we sit. We're gonna do auto-animate, and we are going to do a snap. Duration, we're gonna do about 1 second. So you guys see this. I'm just gonna play that one more time. I'm gonna, for the X, so I can just go back. This is not like true UX, but I just wanted to, so I don't have to keep going back and forth. Boom, comes in, very nice. Now the thing is when we have multiple cards, and if we want to swipe cards or add cards, we're gonna be showing you guys how to do that sort of thing tomorrow. Now I'm gonna do one more time check. It's almost at 50. Let's see. I wanna show you guys if it's okay. Let's see if I have it in my cloud documents. There's some really cool stuff that I've done in 3D. Regardless, guys, if you want to see more 3D stuff, and because we are short on time here and I just want to be respectful of everyone's time, if you guys want to know more about 3D transform, I have a whole bunch of videos on my live streams. You guys literally can go to the right hand side of Adobe Live, click the follow button, or just watch my last 3 videos. It's a whole bunch of how can you use 3D transform, a whole bunch of weird things from like shapes, a lot of testing that we've done. But I really want to see, let me look, because I think a lot of you guys would be really inspired by that. Give me 2 seconds, guys. So I can't find it in like, here we go. I found it. Yeah. So we did a whole bunch of interesting things from, if I press this button, basically you can do stuff like this in 3D transform, which is actually really cool. So in one of our last videos, we showcased how we did this all in Adobe XD, no external programs. And we also showcased on another amazing designer, Parav, that's his name. We definitely took his, we tried to go from a flat design to a 3D design. Again, this is not my work. This is testing that we did in Adobe XD. This is what Adobe XD is capable of now doing with the new 3D transform. So if you guys want to check out, or even stay till tomorrow to see the powerfulness that this new feature has, definitely come tomorrow same time. All right. So we have about 5 minutes here. Let's continue on. And thank you so much, Cody, for sharing that. Zebby hats. All right, but let's see. I think for time's sake, what I really want to do is, because tomorrow we're about at that time. We're about at that time. So I'm just going to pull some of these items down below. I'm just gonna grab, hold Alt, pull it down. I'm not sure if I see an embarrassed face at the bottom or in the chat, or an excited face. I don't know which one it is, but I'm very excited for tomorrow. I want to know, has anybody in the chat played around with 3D transform, and how do they like it, if so? I'm gonna delete some of this stuff here to make some room. Oh, Julia, or I didn't realize that you changed your name. I was wondering, I was in our Discord the other day and I was like, where has JD been? I was like, where is she gone? But now I know. All right, let's see. Now we're gonna get on to our actual dashboard with 5 minutes left. I'm gonna go ahead and pull out a whole new artboard. I'm going to take our background color. I'm gonna just sample here. I'm glad I see a lot of wows and excited emojis in the chat. If you guys come tomorrow same time, we will most definitely be able to do this together. Now, for portions like this, again, what I would do, just because we're at sake of time, we're gonna spend most of our time not building, but prototyping this tomorrow. I'm just gonna go ahead and show you guys how to use components. Just so you don't have to reuse and constantly remake icons. Obviously, if this is grouped, I can totally, copy and pull it down here, right, and use it. But let's say we're working on a team. We have an entire team that's going to use the same navigation bar, just like, oops, I don't want to select all this. Everybody uses the same navigation bar. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to hit Control K. Lydia says 5 minutes. How do I keep missing the lives? It's because it's the memorization of the tie. You're getting hypnotized. No. And it's okay. It won't go away. This will all still be here. The replay is here to stay. You can watch it again on YouTube or Behance. Or, like I said, if you somehow end up always, I'm trying to find like my library stuff. If you somehow always seem to be missing Adobe XD stuff, I'm probably one of the very few people who have been live streaming specifically Adobe XD content. So if you guys want to see how I do everything outside of what we do here on Adobe Live, go ahead and follow me. It's on the right-hand side of Behance. Come and watch me every Monday, Wednesday, or no, Monday through Friday at 9 a.m. EST. Santiago from Argentina says, thanks, genius. Yeah, JD, I was told to change my name to my birth name for Adobe MAX. Ah, makes sense. Yes, Cody, we will have them watch the replay. But the replay is better because you don't have to like constantly hear, well, you can, if you are really time conscious, you don't have to, I ramble a lot, to put it quite simply. All right, guys, so we have about 2 minutes here. If there's any questions. Nitin is asking some good questions. How did you, and here, with the 2 minutes that we have left, please drop any questions that you have in the chat. I'm speeding things, well, we have 1 minute now. Basically, what I did, Nitin, was I took the content here, and instead of just copying and pasting it, I turned it into a component and then took that component, this menu, I'm naming it, I pat it in my components channel or my components sidebar and just pulled it in and brought it to the top here. So I was just trying to demonstrate components, but because we're low on time, let us do this. Guys, I want to thank you so much for coming to Adobe Live. We have some amazing stuff coming up next. We have Voodoo Val coming up, but I want to thank you guys so much for joining us. If you haven't already, please hit that like button, whether you are on YouTube and Behance. I'm excited for the rest of the content you guys are about to watch, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Be here tomorrow, same time. I forgot what the PTSD time was, but 10:30 a.m. EST. We'll see you same time, same place, and we'll be doing 3D transform in addition to prototyping this amazing baby. So thank you guys so much for coming. My name is Brandon Groce, and I'll see you guys on the next one. If you want more Adobe XD content, just follow me on the right-hand column, and I will see you on my channel. All right, guys, see you later. Thank you, Cody, for joining us and moderating. We loved it. All right, guys, peace.